Set. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the February 18, 2025 meeting of the New York City Campaign Finance Board. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from January 15th. Getting an echo over here. I don't know if you can do anything about it. Are you hearing the echo?
Yeah, it's coming out of the speaker here is on. Maybe we could turn it off.
Oh, you know what it is? It may be that thing over there on the table is on. Oh, you got it? Echo, echo, echo. No echo. Okay. Once again, welcome to the February 18th meeting of the New York City Campaign Finance Board. The first item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from January 15. I move their approval. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is my report. So the 2025 June primaries are now just 4 months away. In today's meeting, the board will be voting on its third round of public funds payments for the 2025 elections, expenditure limit relief for a 2025 city council race, enforcement actions against 2 committees from the 2021 election cycle, and the ratification of the chair's payment decision for an upcoming special election. That's all I have. I'll turn it over now to our executive director for his remarks.
Thank you, Chair Schaefer. Good morning, everyone, and happy Black History Month. Campaign Finance Board staff have been very busy administering the public financing program and other campaign finance laws in the regular June primary elections, as well as in 2 special elections, one on March 25th in Council District 44 and another on April 29th in Council District 51. We're also continuing to work on audits and enforcement matters from past elections and have shifted into high gear implementing our new strategic plan for 2025 and beyond. In other words, we are in the thick of busy season. Also last month, I reported that our selection process for media outlets that will broadcast our 2025 citywide office debates between candidates for the offices of mayor, comptroller, and public advocate were underway. We wrapped up the interviews with media outlets earlier this month, and we are on track to announce the results of this process next month. So stay tuned for more on that soon. And that's it for me, Chair Schaefer. Back to you.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is the ratification of the chair's decision on public funds payments for a special election. So as chair of the board, I have been delegated the authority to approve public funds payments to candidates in special elections when the payment dates do not coincide with regularly scheduled board meetings, subject to ratification by the board at the next regular meeting. I will ask in a moment for another member of the board to introduce a motion for the board to ratify my February 13th approval of public funds payments for the special election in Council District 44 to the following candidates in the following amounts. Simcha Felder, $192,534. Harold Tischler, $192,534. Would another member of the board like to make that motion to ratify?
I move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. I will now introduce a motion to approve public funds payments for the June primary elections to the following candidates in the following amounts. For mayor, Brad Lander, $696,656. Scott Stringer, $692,292. Zohran Mamdani, $2,827,443. Zelnor Myrie, $2,200,109. For public advocate, Jennifer Rajkumar, $1,092,331. For controller, Mark Levine, $628,698. For Brooklyn Borough President, Kari Edwards, $435,366. For Manhattan Borough President, Keith Powers, $225,089. For City Council District 1, Christopher Marte, $17,734. And Jess Coleman, $149,728. In Council District 2, Harvey Epstein, $17,734. In Council District 4, Vanessa Aronson, $49,628. Faith Bondi, $28,074. And Virginia Maloney, $192,534. In City Council District 7, Sean Abreu, $17,734. Adafe Akporo, $43,320. In City Council District 8, Clarissa Alayeto, $60,450. Elsie Encarnacion, $39,064. Wilfredo Lopez, $65,786. In Council District 12, Kevin Riley, $50,859. In City Council District 14, Brian Hodge Vasquez, $10,678. And Pierina Sanchez, $17,734. In City Council District 17, Antierson Ortiz, $95,281. Freddie Perez Jr., $97,014. And Justin Sanchez, $15,458. City Council District 21, Chanel Thomas Henry, $133,350. City Council District 28, Romeo Hitlal, $40,161. And Japneet Singh, $179,520. In City Council District 30, Paul Boguselski, $70,414. Dermot Smith, $124,845. And Alicia Vaichunas, $101,840. City Council District 35, Dion Ashman, $6,346. And Crystal Hudson, $51,755. In City Council District 38, Ling Yi, $131,518. In City Council District 39, Shahana Hanif, $17,734. And Maya Kornberg, $75,729. In City Council District 46, Mercedes Narcisse, $187,756. Dimple Willibus, $33,364. In City Council District 47, Kayla Santusoso, $179,155. This motion also includes the board's decision to deny public funds payments to other participating candidates who are ineligible at this time. Immediately following this meeting, the board will make public a list of those candidates and the reasons for their ineligibility, as well as any candidates who have declined public funds payments at this time. Candidates who have been denied payment today have a right to appeal that decision. In addition, there will be more opportunities for campaigns to establish eligibility for matching funds in the coming weeks and months. Board member Richard Davis is recusing himself from the vote today to the extent that it pertains to Mayor Eric Adams, but is participating in the vote regarding all other candidates. So that is the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The next item on our agenda is a vote on expenditure relief limit with respect to the race for Council District 4. I'll ask our general counsel to explain this motion.
Good morning, Chair Schaefer, Executive Director Ryan, and members of the Campaign Finance Board. My name is Joseph Gallagher, General Counsel for the Campaign Finance Board. CFB staff has determined that a non-participant in the 2025 election in City Council District 4 has raised more than half of the expenditure limit for the 2025 primary election. Therefore, CFB staff recommends that the board increase the applicable expenditure limit to 150% of the normal limit for all participants in the primary elections for City Council District 4 from $228,000 to $342,000.
I move that we approve that increase. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. Next, we have appearances from two campaigns with respect to proposed penalties from the 2021 election cycle. The first appearing remotely is Phileas Eves. And it looks like you are there. You're with us?
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. So let me briefly explain the procedure. I'm going to ask the staff of the CFB to just explain what the issue is before us. It's not an argument. It just sort of tees up for us what the issues are. I'm then going to turn the floor over to you for any presentation you want to make. Staff of the CFB will have an opportunity to respond. Members of the board may have a question or two for you or for the staff. We'll go back and forth until everything that needs to be said has been said. And then we're going to do one more hearing afterwards. We'll then go into deliberations and come back and announce our decision.
Okay,
Okay?
thank
Good.
you.
Very good. All right, take it.
Good morning.
Somebody else just appeared.
That's the candidate and the treasurer. Okay.
Good, thank you. We can see you both now. Good. Okay.
Good morning, Chair Schaefer, members of the board, Phileas, Ms. Osei. My name is Isaac Kaplan. I'm an attorney here for the CFB, and with me is Brian Mongol, an auditor for the CFB. Before the board is the matter of the Phileas 2021 election for City Council District 16. Mr. Phileas was a participant in the program and received public funds. Ms. Osei is the campaign's treasurer. CFB staff recommends that the board find that the campaign committed the following two violations: failing to file disclosure statements and failing to respond to the draft audit report. The campaign contests these violations.
Okay, thank you. The floor is now yours. So you're both entitled to speak in whatever order you choose.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. So upon 2021, the campaign, it was in, I want to say November is when the campaign, it terminated. We did not win the election. So around that time period between November and January, I was in communication with the Campaign Finance Board with our liaison. At the time, I believe it was Jacqueline, who was our liaison before she left, trying to sort out the next step now that the campaign was over, was directed. I closed the bank account. I submitted everything into our files. I reported everything. Then I want to say in 2023 is when we received notice that there were still some matters outstanding. Now, around that particular time, as I wrote and during that time, I was still in communication with our liaison. I think we were on our second or third liaison, trying to let them know exactly what the status of the campaign was, because it was 2 years after, and I was still trying to figure out how to close the matter. They said that there were some matters that were still outstanding. The biggest issue was that everything that was outstanding was actually already inputted into the system. It was how I inputted it into the system. So there wasn't anything particular that additional information that was needed. Everything essentially needed to be sorted out in the system, because again, the campaign was closed. The funds were turned in, I believe, in either 2021 or early 2022 once we settled the campaign. Now, around the time of I believe it was May of really from January of 2023 up until maybe June of 2023, I unfortunately had a lot of family issues going on. My dad tried to commit suicide. It's a whole long story. So, and I was also getting married. So really in like April and May of 2023, I was basically out of commission. However, the moment that I came back, I still reached out to CFB to try to really settle the matter, because again, my liaison was constantly contacting me and trying to figure out, and I asked for assistance. And really, I'm like, I have no idea what else is left outstanding, because all the information was inputted. So I scheduled many meetings in really trying to get a step-by-step on really what exactly in the system that I've inputted needed to either be shifted, needed to be moved around. I mean, now I luckily ended up speaking to our liaison, who really set some time. I think we were in a meeting for maybe an hour or 2 hours to really tell me exactly, going into the system, exactly what was either missing or needed to be put into the right place. Everything has been submitted. Our campaign has officially been closed with CFP. There's nothing outstanding at this moment. Everything has been closed.
Okay. Mr. Phillips, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I think Ms. Osei had explained it clearly. It was a pleasure not only to run and to be a part of the process, but getting individuals that believed in my vision to be a part of it. I have none but trust within the process that Ms. Osei had done, and I am here in support. To see what transpires after, and I'm thankful that we are here at this moment to get this rectified. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you.
And one
Steph?
last thing that I wanted to add, I do want to add, which I did explain to the campaign finance board and to our various liaison, as to even why I was asking for more assistance. I've never been in this position before. This is not my, I've never been a treasurer before. So it was also this entire process, having the training and everything was also very new to me. This is the one and only time that I've ever even participated in a campaign before. So really trying to explain to them, hey, I need further assistance, because again, to my knowledge and everything was already settled, and I've inputted all the possible information that I had that was actually needed. It's just a matter of, okay, how do I now rectify within the system to make sure that everything was placed in the proper tabs that in order for the campaign to be closed. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Does the staff have anything to add?
Nothing.
Any questions from members of the board? Okay, I think we've got the point, and we're going to deliberate, and we understand the reasons that you've given, and we will certainly give them careful consideration. So thank you very much, and stay tuned if you like for our decision in a little while.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and the next campaign, also from 2021 election cycle, is the campaign of Carlina Rivera. And I think there are some people here today on behalf of that council member. So come on up. Good morning.
Good morning.
So you were here when I explained the drill. So I'm going to ask the staff of the CFB to explain what the issues are before us, and and you'll have your opportunity to present.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Chair Schaefer, members of the board, and representative of City Council Member Carlina Rivera, Katie Loeb, Jamie Rogers. I'm Jennifer Ferentz, an attorney for the CFB, and with me is Brian Mangle, as before, a CFB auditor. Before the board is the matter of the Carlina Rivera campaign in the 2021 election for City Council District 2. The campaign was a participant in the program and received public funds. The CFB staff recommends that the board find that the campaign committed one violation, which is accepting over the limit contributions, and the campaign contests this recommended violation.
Oh, it's all the same.
It's multiple.
Yeah, right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right. And
Can I ask if you could, again, repeat your full names and just the role you have with the campaign?
absolutely. Katie, you want to go first?
I'm Katie Loeb, the treasurer.
Jamie Rogers. I was originally treasurer on the campaign, but needed to leave because I had a change in work that no longer allowed me to participate as treasurer. So I remained a lead through the rest of the campaign cycle. I also am the husband of the candidate, and that's sort of how I got roped in. But
was that part of the marriage vows?
I first want to thank the board for your time. We won't take up too much of it. Thank you to the CFP staff for your years of work with us on this campaign, but others. And ultimately, we are not contesting either the facts or the charge. We simply would like to request a lower fine. And we provided some reasons, as Jennifer mentioned, the assessment, the charge, the fines were based on several over the limit contributions and untimely return of funds to the individuals that gave us those funds. We provided in our statement that it was during the pandemic. As I mentioned, I had a change in work, and so there was a transition between our responsibilities, which I think we obviously didn't handle or hand off as well as we could to facilitate these transfers, but also the bank that we chose to use, Lower East Side People's Federal Credit Union, was closed for a long period and doing a business in very limited hours during the pandemic, making it difficult for working people to actually go and get the certified or banker's checks to return. That not being, I think a reason for, violating it, just sort of explains the circumstance. As you likely know, we've done this several times before. We've run these campaigns. We know how they work and we generally are compliant. But at that time, the circumstances were such that it did make it a little bit more difficult. But funds were, for the most part, returned, except for one that was sent back because the check was stale, meaning that the contributor never deposited their check. And by the time we realized that we had the funds returned to our account, the account was ready to be closed. The campaign was over. So we essentially gave that money to the campaign finance board. In total, we gave over $20,000 back to the board. So it's in far in excess of the fine levied and the amount of over the limit contributions in total. So we again do not contest the facts, where we simply hope that the CFB, in light, I think, of the fact that there were extenuating circumstances during the pandemic with our campaign in particular, and with the fact that we did everything we could to spend as little as possible, give as much of the city money back to the taxpayers of New York City. We would hope that the board could take that under advisement and consideration. Finally, I'll just say, council member is term limited. She's not running for office in this cycle. So with this, obviously, this assessment would come out of our personal funds. And we would like to reduce that as much as possible. So that's all I have to have. Happy to answer any questions. And again, thank you very much for your time.
I have one question. I want to clarify something. The money that you returned, the roughly $20,000, that included the unspent funds and the $350 that on the check that hadn't been cashed?
Essentially, yes. Once once the check that hadn't been cashed was returned to our bank account, again, which was just an automated process after a certain number of days, because it's a banker's check, the bank sees the funds were never deposited, so they just put it back in our account. So everything in our account was then sent to the CFP. So it would have been inclusive of the over the limit funds that we tried to return.
And that check was a banker's check, not a personal check.
Correct. All over the limit contribution funds, all over the limit contribution funds that need to be returned to the contributors must be done in the form of a cashier's check. So
Okay, misunderstood that. Thank you for clarifying it. Any further response or comments from staff?
Just two quick things. First, I do want to verify that in our system, we have that sort of redepositing the refund check happening in March 2021, and the final bank balance was returned in January 2022. So I did want to verify that and just state that the penalties are calculated just based on our penalty guidelines. The untimely refunds each carry $125 penalty, and then the technically non-refunded carries an over the limit plus $150.
Thank you. We understand that, and I think the campaign does too, and obviously also understands that we sit as a court of equity.
exactly.
We are entitled to take individual circumstances into account. Any questions from members of the board?
No.
If not, thank you very much for your appearance. We're going to deliberate and come back and start decision.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so at this time, we're going to go into deliberations. See you soon. All right, we have deliberated and we're back on the record. So I'm going to move that the board find with respect to these two campaigns the following violations and impose the following penalties. First, Eve Phileas. The violations are 1, failing to file disclosure statement, and 2, failing to respond, and that's a violation, no penalty. Failing to respond to the draft audit report, $500, total penalties of $500. Second, the campaign of Carlina Rivera. The violation is accepting over the limit contributions, penalty of $375. Is there a second to that motion? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. That's it, right? And that is all we have for public session today. We're going to go into executive session, but we'll be taking no action in an executive session. So I will make our usual motion to go into executive session and adjourn directly from the executive session. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Thank you all. We're done for today.